So I'm going to get to the last question, and I'm not going to go in order unless you make me. But this might be one of the hardest questions, but I want you to be selfish with your department, and I want you to be honest with your department. What are your number one and two priorities that a commissioner, this commission that sits behind this dais here, what should they be looking at when it considers your department?
I'll start. The Department of Social Services is just as it is, social. So we take care of every person in this community, or have the means to, or we're supposed to. It is very important for the commissioners to know that these services are not just that we think that they would be great. We're mandated. So we must provide them. So it is important for the commissioners to try to make sure that our salaries are comparable to the other ones in neighboring counties, so that our workforce is there, because we don't have a choice. We have to offer these services. Our younger people who are abused, neglected, or dependent, they need us. The older people who are they're at an age where they need long-term care, and they're getting older, unclaimed bodies. We're also responsible for people who don't have the next of kin to bury them. We're responsible for that. And so that's what I'm doing today when I go back, is burying someone. So it's really important that they look at what we offer and they say, yes, we will support your budget, and yes, we will do everything that we can to make sure that we can figure out how to make sure that salaries are comparable, so that you have the workforce necessary to provide these services, and that we have good, high-quality workers to do it, and know that if we can lean something out, we will do that.
What are your number one and two priorities that the commissioners should consider when thinking about your department?
For the Tourism Development Authority, the number one priority, I think, and it has an impact on everyone here being interviewed, is that everything we can do to enhance the quality of life for our citizens, you can connect the dots, and that's going to bring money into our county. Birgit was talking about attracting businesses. Well, part of attracting businesses is not only having a workforce, but also having a place where people want to live. And the projects that we support and generate, along with all of our partners, funding and governmental, has a direct impact on economic vitality. There's a saying that if you love something, you'll want to protect it. And I think we can even connect the dots to law enforcement, that if we create a nicer, more attractive, richer experience for citizens and visitors, I don't think it's far-fetched to say that can have a direct impact on crime, and also just the people who are at risk in our county. And obviously, we have direct connections to air travel, people coming in and out of this county. So I think that's kind of the number one thing, is that the across-the-board impact that a rich experience for tourism and a better quality of life. I just came from a statewide Main Street conference, and a couple of the things they talked about there, and these were different small-town communities, and obviously we have numerous rich Main Street communities in Rutherford and in Rutherford County. They talked about third spaces, and a lot of what we're doing is creating, whether they're parks or museums or some other venues, performance venues, and so forth, that how important that is to the quality of life in a town. And so that's kind of our sweet spot there. That and the history of communities is something that we look at as something that we can sell to visitors. And so that richness, that opportunity for convening and engagement is really kind of at the heart of what we're doing.
I think for us, we're still kind of working through staffing needs at the airport. It is, I listen and I've tried to keep quiet because I know it is a touchy subject. I mean, and it is, and pay is a challenge. It really is on so many levels for so many people because, I mean, even my family, the way we shop has changed over the past 5 years, like dramatically. But I think for us as a team, I have been blessed with a good group of guys. I've been blessed with the Rutherford County Airport Authority, for those that don't know, also serve as the commissioners. And so they have those two hats that they put on and take off.
Try to be efficient.
Right. And so the county also owns the airport. And so with that comes certain responsibilities, as with other departments, to maintain the airfield a certain way, for grant obligations to be able to develop the airport. We have a 90% is provided by, for a lot of the projects that occur out there, is provided through aviation grants through the state and federal side. And then 10% a lot of times is the match for the county. And so trying to catch a vision, I think, with the commissioners is one of the goals that I have, the main goal for the airport, to advance the airport in a way that is developing the community that we have, keeping people that are growing up here rather than moving away. And so I hear that story all the time.
And even for me, with volunteers coming in to help us rebuild the county, they asked me, where's the closest airport? Where can we fly into?
So
I mean, yeah.
I have a paper here from Habitat. During the storm, we had 569 aircraft that they recorded when they started recording. So there were more than that. And 236,000 pounds worth of goods that came through the airport. 98 trucks left the airport going all over the place, all up into the mountains. When the county's coffers were full, they just kept pushing out, and Habitat did an amazing job. They had over 770 volunteers that came out, and during that time, so it's just humbling.
It is humbling
to even. And then recently with the Black Cove fire, we had 5. I don't publicize what goes on a lot of times because I try to kind of keep it quiet, so that I'd be respectful of those that are utilizing the field. But we had 5 different helicopter assets that were based at the airport for this fire. And then watching the National Forest Service was there with one of the teams.
Yeah, they were out helping us in Golden Valley with a helicopter based out of
North Carolina Forest Service had day one was helicopters and flying in and out, getting fuel, getting a snack and a drink, and heading back out. So I guess from me, just with the county commissioners, I just ask for their wisdom and help with the continued development of the airport. And then consideration also for those that are, trying to keep staffing there has also been a challenge. And then just maintaining the field it's 300 acres. So, it's a lot at times, and it can get overwhelming as a director from all directions for all directors, but it's been a blessing to have a team of commissioners that stand behind us and also stand with us. And so thank you for giving this opportunity to share.
I would like the commissioners to remember the services that we bring add to the quality of life, which is one of the main goals, and bring in tax dollars. In the last 3 years, we have worked with companies, whether they're existing companies here or new companies. We've announced more than 230 jobs. Again, those are paying above and beyond the county average and bringing in benefits. And we've announced $79 million in investment. That's money that's coming into the tax coffers and easing the burden on government. So I'd ask for continued support in that aspect. And any project that I've ever brought before the commissioners, I've always gotten a stamp of approval. So I'm very, very appreciative for that. It makes my job easy by having the support and the buy-in from the commissioners.
And you've got work coming that you can't talk about,
I do.
which I appreciate. I appreciate. What should the
I would say, from my standpoint, the two things I really want to seriously be considered. One is just what we talked about, employee retention. That we're able to have the right employees, those that have experience. They got the training, but they've been there and done that, to where they can respond to the volatile situations, and that they're going to do it with wisdom and past experience. That we put all our efforts in place to make sure that we can retain those individuals, to keep them in our employment. And as we talked about, Director D's talking about the more vulnerable population, we want to be able to adequately serve all the citizens of Rutherford County and anyone that's visiting, that we can take care of business, whatever we need to do to serve them the best that we can, but especially those that are more vulnerable, the elderly, those that may have issues that they can't help themselves, and the children certainly. And we got to be there for them, and so the SRO situation is to make sure whatever we have to do, that we have that coverage inside our schools, that those precious children, that they are taken care of. We're doing everything we can to give them a safe environment to learn and enjoy their time at school. Yeah.
If I could add on to that, obviously our most valuable asset, well, the children of this community. In a school shooting, every second count. If you have an officer already at the scene, the outcome is going to be so much better, as long as everything goes right. The two priorities, obviously, is as a whole, we need one in each school. In our budget proposal, like I say, it's the difference between the pay. It's 9% to 100% difference in Tier 1 counties when we did our comparison. Our budget proposal is for 8%. We're not trying to be hiring from other county. We just want to be competitive so our folks know their value. We're at 8% plus the cost of living. 9% was the very minimum, and that was just one category. Most of the rest fell between 15 to 100% difference in pay. Our officers here in the detention center, there was 14 assault officers in a 4-month period. On the street, there's been 10 assaults since July on officers. It's not an easy job. It's a job that takes an individual with a lot of commitment. I am so proud of our officers and all the staff at the sheriff's office. It's been eye-opening and humbling.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming out today and spending time with me and answering these questions and being open and having the discussion. I think it'll be beneficial if people watch these videos and they can try to understand the budget challenges that each department faces and the budget challenges that the county faces in trying to move forward and grow, which I feel like is a biggest need. We need to grow our way out of this 30-year depression that the county's been in, and I think we're sitting in a good spot to work on that.
I feel remiss if I didn't say this. In Rutherford County, for our foster homes, we only have 23 foster homes, yet we have 187 children in foster care. That means that most of our children live outside the county. It drives the cost of foster care so far up. It overworks our workers because we've got kids that are 2 hours away, 3 hours away. So, the overtime is there, and it's just wear and tear on the social workers. So I just want to put a plug in to say that we need foster homes. So even the commissioners, if you know someone, just let people know we want to bring our kids home. We want them to be here. It's going to cost us a lot less to have our children here growing up in this community, to where we can have an opportunity to work with them and their families right here and place them back where they came from once their parents are rehabilitated and the risk has been removed. So just felt like I need to plug that in.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks again for coming out.
I do want to say thank you and thank the other commissioners and Steve for wanting us to make our case for you, to you. That you want to have a rich knowledge of what we do. So I think it's important.